craft this week. It's Saturday, so we're crafting. And last week we made zines, but this week we're gonna expand on that with some Zentangling.
We're gonna show you some Zentangles first, but I also have some cool nature drawing to show you at the end of the video, so stick around.
So some things you might need to do this are a zine from last time, or some paper, doesn't have to be this, could be whatever. And then we got some different pens. You can use literally any pen, a ballpoint pen will work, but if you have ones that have different tip sizes, like this is just a group of different sized ones, then that'll help you make the smaller, more detailed designs. Just as a starting point, I went to a blog called Enthusiastic Artist and found a couple patterns. Cubine's a good one. So I started by step like this. So Dina and I will maybe show TJ how to do one of these and see if she can follow our instructions, if our instructions are good enough. Croon and Crescent are some really good ones too. And then a one I really like is Paradox, so maybe I'll show you that one. All right, I'm gonna start by showing TJ one of my favorite designs, which is Paradox. It looks really complicated, but it's really pretty easy. So this is how you do it. You start with any square. It doesn't have to be a perfect square or rectangle. It can have weird edges like mine just did. And then you wanna basically bisect it corner to corner. So you're gonna have two. Maybe you need to use a bigger pen so people can see what I'm doing here. Let me switch. First you start with a square. Okay, let me start over with a bigger pen so you can see. Don't be afraid to start over. So, got your square, bisect it in half like that. You should probably be as accurate as you can because it looks nicer the better job you do. I just went off the edge there, it's okay, but. And then you're just gonna basically make a bunch of triangles. Don't make them too small, but divide each of these shapes into a new triangle. And it can be any shape or dimension. It doesn't have to be a right triangle. It can be any sort of triangle pattern. So see how that doesn't have to be anything too elaborate or crazy. And then you're gonna pick one triangle, and I would suggest picking the biggest triangle you have just to get the hang of it, because as you go smaller, it's a little bit harder. So you're gonna pick one triangle, and you're gonna draw inside of this triangle. You're gonna make it a little bit smaller triangle inside of the big triangle. So you're gonna go down to this edge of the triangle, and you're cutting a little slice of it, basically. Then you're gonna go from there, and you're gonna go across and cut a slice there. And then you're gonna keep there, and you're gonna cut a slice there. And you just keep making a smaller and smaller triangles out of this one triangle. You basically just go smaller and smaller until it looks like that. Oh, TJ's got the hang of it already. She's doing good. Yep, Dina's got the hang of it too over on the end. We're trying to keep our distance, so you might not see everybody's work, but...
That's okay. Those are much better.
TJ's got it! So TJ's example, can I show yours up close? She's got it. That's it. Yay! So you keep doing that to all your triangles, and eventually it turns into this really cool pattern that looks like shards of glass or something. I don't know what it looks like, but it's very overlappy and 3D. And you can also shade some of these different pieces so that it gets some dimension to it.
So I really like the triangle Paradox, but here's the square one, and it almost looks like a staircase or something. So do either one. Okay, next up is Cadent. This is one that Dina was telling TJ how to start. Go make a dot grid first of all, and obviously you're just eyeballing these. Do your best to make them line up. And then there's a little swoopy action we're gonna see.
It's from the bottom up and over, the bottom up and over, the bottom up and over. And then just keep, and then turn your page to the side and do the opposite so that it looks like fancy, to me it looks like fancy scroll work or those cool little pastas.
Mm-hmm.
And to add variation, you can put little circles in the middle, little dots. And if you want to get really fancy, you can do a swoopy
Across the middle.
across the middle. And I have one where I did color.
Ooh.
Just some, but I did that with charcoal, so it made a huge mess. And this one I started coloring. This one I went a little crazy and filled it in with teeny tiny little lines. Connected C's. And it's exactly what the name sounds like. You make C's. You make a little, and then you make a C. And then you make a C over here and connect them there. And a little C there. Oops. And a little C here. And then maybe a little C over here. And then everywhere where you have the little gapy spots between the C's, color them in. And we're just gonna go on a wing and a prayer here. And you fill them in. Just, they look really cool together and they can fill in, and then you could add vines and things in between. Yeah.
Here's Dina's notebook.
And if I really like something, I practice it over and over and over again. These were really fun. And these were out of the 20 Ways to Draw a Tree.
Cool.
And sometimes I really don't like what I did, so I exit out, and we won't be doing that one again anytime soon. So I practice them in the sketchbook so that they can get put onto the owl. And if you'll look right here, I did do connected C's in one of his feathers. But every one of the things is filled with teeny tiny little patterns to make the whole.
I brought a reference book of how to get some ideas of some natural things to draw. You can just observe your natural environment if you want, but if you don't know what to draw, here's an idea. This is called 20 Ways to Draw Everything. I had this checked out from Lewiston before we got shut down, so I've been hanging on to it. It's got lots of great reference material. And then Dina also has a book that we'll show you in a second called 20 Ways to Draw a Tree, and just some ideas of what you can do with your zines. One of my little blank zines that I made last week, and I got some ideas from this book, and I did clouds and different options of wood, sticks, grains and flower types, grasses. Lily pads were easy and fun. Snails are fun. Shells are kind of the similar. And then flowers, you can make, you know, lots of varieties of those.